are standing tall. This Mother Russia will never know. But in our lives, that's where we have hearts. It's time to shine it bright and give your love soul with the power to fight. Crimson God, you came to lead us now into the blaze of victory immortal. Crimson God, stop the evil that keeps behind. It's gonna lose, but standing is on our side.
Здравствуйте, товарищи, and welcome to a response I'm going to do to a message some guy sent me. Sorry, I probably look like hell right now. I've been up for quite a long time, working and editing and doing schoolwork and all that kind of stuff, so I probably, am not at my 100% peak right now. But I want to do this for quite some time. And this is a response to a message a guy sent me. And for some reason he sent me it in Russian. And he asked me, what's your religion in Russian? And I told him I'm an atheist. And then he asked, why? Why are you an atheist? And I thought this would be something kind of cool to talk about. Because I personally believe that people like to give religion this kind of free ride, that it's something that shouldn't be talked about, it shouldn't be discussed, it shouldn't be conversed. And I believe there is absolutely nothing that is beyond the realm of conversation, discussion, and debate. It's just... religion isn't this crown jewel of something that hits it's too emotionally charged, and it hits too personally, too close to home for it to be discussed. I think that's total crap. There's nothing that is too personal, too emotional, or too emotionally charged to be discussed and to be debated. And of course, religion falls under that umbrella of everything. But to get into why I am really an atheist, I'd probably have to go back to my childhood. Because as a child, I was actually in a Catholic school. For my first 5 years of schooling, my father put me in a Catholic school. Not because he was a religious man, just simply because he believed that private schools were better than public schools. My family in general is pretty apathetic to religion. But, moving on. I took my first 5 years in a Catholic school, so I learned, did extensive religious studies, prayed every day in the beginning of the day, went to Mass, all that good stuff, ate the body of Christ, and so on and so forth. But almost every night after I'd come home from school, I'd turn on the television and I'd watch Bill Nye the Science Guy. And I just thought this was the coolest show I'd ever seen in my life. That Bill Nye the Science Guy would fill my head with my little head with all these wonderful thoughts about how the universe worked, how big the earth was, how the intricate machines of nature worked, about evolution, and all this stuff that just stimulated my little mind. And I thought it was incredible, I thought it was fascinating. And then I remember I bought this book that kind of coincided with the show, and it outlined all the topics in the show. Each episode had its own chapter about what it was trying to say, and I bring this book to school, and I take it and I show it to all my fellow students, and say, "Oh my God, have you heard about evolution? About this theory about how life came from its humble beginnings to come together and create the advanced and beautiful machines that we are today?" And I run around with this little book and show people pictures and talk about it with my fellow classmates. And part of me always believed that my Catholic teachers didn't exactly appreciate that so much. So, it was really, I guess, Bill the Science Guy almost that stimulated my mind into into studying science, I guess. It's really because of him that I have such a incredible fascination with nature, with the workings of the world, with the workings of the universe, the workings of the human mind. But I wasn't always in scientific thought. I kind of broke away from studying all these natural phenomenon and scientific phenomenon. I got into history, and that was what kind of bred my interest in the Soviet Union. And then the only step from there was to get interested in political thought, which bred my interest in communism. And from there, the only logical place, I guess, to go from there is to learn about how the human mind itself works, which is where I am today in a psychology major, learning about how the human mind works. or what we know thus far. And I believe psychology is really the kind of perfect balance between philosophical abstract thought and reasoning and fundamental science, scientific method, and experience, because there are certain things about the human mind that we can discover through scientific experiments, especially when it comes to things like cognitive psychology, such as the human short-term memory span is 30 seconds, our attention span is approximately the range is approximately, we have approximately 15 minutes of attention span, and then we kind of veer off for about 30 minutes, and then for the last 10 minutes kind of comes, our attention span kind of comes back up again, and we can sometimes look into how and predict how humans will behave in certain circumstances, diffusion of responsibility, all this other good stuff. So there's stuff in psychology that we can test empirically through the scientific method. However, there are so many different neuron connections in the human brain that unless we create some kind of incredibly complex algorithm, then we'll never be able to truly predict what a human will do. Then maybe we can predict 9 times out of 10 what someone will do, but then there's that one time that will say, holy crap, I didn't expect that to happen. And that's where a scientific thought has trouble breaking into that kind of realm, that unpredictable realm, where it's kind of a more abstract thought and reasoning needs to kind of take over there. But one of the reasons I'm an atheist is because I believe that if we are to believe what happens in the Bible, if we're believed the Bible is the ultimate source of wisdom and creation and so on and so forth, if the Bible has all the answers, then the world is boring. Then there's no answers left to discover. That if the end product is always God did it, then what's the point of learning about anything? What's the point of studying anything? It's boring, it's finite, and it doesn't get me excited. Here, I have a quote actually from Carl Sagan, a dead hero of mine that I'd like to read for you, because Carl Sagan was really an incredible man. He was a hero of mine, and I'm sure he was a hero of many different people. But here's what he wrote. He wrote this in the pale blue dot. He said, "How is it that hardly any major religion has looked at science and concluded, this is bigger than we thought. The universe is much bigger than our prophets said, grander, more subtle, more elegant. Instead they say, no, 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 my God is a little God, and I want him to stay that way." A religion, old and new, that stressed the magnificence of the universe, as revealed by modern science, might be able to draw forth reserves and reverence and awe hardly tapped by the conventional faiths today. And that's my standpoint, that religion cannot stimulate my sense of awe and reverence the way that modern science and thought and understanding can. And then when it comes to actually the creation of the universe, the whole God created the universe logic is very flawed. Because I had a friend, he would always like to say, well, I like how the universe was created from nothing, how everything came from nothing, and then apparently God is exempt of that dubious logic, that God apparently can't be created. That we can apply that logic to the universe, but not to God for some reason. So, for argument's sake, let's say that God is, for some reason, exempt from this dubious logic chain. Christians come up with this beautiful rationalization that say God is eternal. He has no beginning, he has no end. He was just always there. And at that point, why not just save a step and just say that the universe was always there? People like the sort of common held thought is that excuse me, I gotta collect my thoughts for a little bit, talking too fast. But the commonplace thought is that the universe is 14.6 billion years old, or somewhere in that ballpark range. But that's kind of a misinterpretation. I believe that not necessarily the universe is 6.5 billion years old, but it has taken 14.6 billion years to make us, to get to the stage that we are now. Not necessarily from its beginning point to here. So, you know, if God is eternal, why don't we save a step, say the universe is eternal, and thereby cutting God out of the picture and not taking an unnecessary step. But I could go on. I have so many more reasons why I actually am an atheist. Why I believe that that there's no God, and why just the atheist lifestyle is more appealing to me. Why it's more beautiful. But I'm probably going to go on and do some other talks about this. I would especially like to talk about religion and morality. I've done it before, but religious people seem to think they're morally superior, which is entire crap. But for now, this has been Joseph, he's running Stalin, signing off, and I'll see you guys later.